nervous energy in this room tonight. It's absolutely palpable, and I'm not sure whether it's the poor author who's used to one-on-ones. All of us in this room have been outed. Not only are we in therapy, we can all see what the other patients look like.
That's so sweet.
My name is Wyk Stefan. I work at MB Publishers, and I'm very, very proud. I'm very privileged, in fact, to stand up tonight and introduce Stefan Blom and this wonderful book that's been published by Human and Rousseau. A big thank you to Lindy from Human and Rousseau, Stefan's editor and publisher, and to Helene, who's a colleague of mine who's working on the fantastic publicity that's been generated. Also a huge thank you to Book Lounge and Mervyn for another wonderful event. I don't have Mervyn's genius, so I have to talk off a piece of paper. But thank you, Mervyn, for always having these wonderful events and hosting authors like Stefan. Gary van Wyk is a dear friend of Stefan's and has the same quality and talent that Stefan has of being able to describe things and see the nuances in relationships, and he's able to depict that in his remarkable photography. Thank you so much for being here. Stefan, it's so generous of you to be here tonight in front of all these people, but it's especially generous that you've written this book.
As you can hear, he didn't tell me anything that was happening. He didn't tell me I was going to be in front of everyone.
So I didn't tell Gary the truth about the stage because I knew if I told him he might say no.
Right.
Okay, so Gary, you can ask me questions, go for it.
Well, to start off, just quickly about Stefan, it's something that we've been friends for a while, and he's an incredible person, and what really stands out about him is he has so many ideas. You always have so many ideas, whether it be photography or, you know, doing art, writing a book. You have this ability to bring every idea to life.
Sure.
And that's a real gift, and like you really inspire me through that. So tell us about how the Truth About Relationships started.
Okay.
Take us to the beginning.
Sure. This is the first project in my life where I feel I didn't choose it. So how it started for me was really that I am, you know, as a therapist, I get exposed to very valuable information, I think privileged information about people's relationships. Like I get to see what works and what does not work in people's relationships. So over the last 20 years I've been collecting that information. I've been scribbling on pieces of paper on my cell phone on my laptop. I took a like, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, I took a week off and went to the Eastern Cape and I tried to write this book, but I wasn't ready for it. So in 2014, I remember during that year I felt a tremendous personal pressure to share it. It almost kind of spoke to me loudly, and so I spent a lot of time thinking creatively and looking at what people's doing, how to share the truths about relationships. I approached Royce, he's got a production company, and a few very young creative people, and I asked them if they would team up with me to build the truthaboutrelationships.com. So my main intention was to speak on the internet in a way that would not be judgmental, would not be prescriptive, would be honest and real and to the point, and I decided to do it in a video format. So I think we recorded about 31 videos, there's about 21 videos on my website. So initially it was a website where people could access information. It was more a question of, I know some stuff about relationships that I think not only people in therapy should know about. So my intention was that. And then, you know, as when you have ideas, like I said, I think I didn't choose it, the book chose me, and I spoke to people about it, and one of the people I trust and that I respect is Nikki, that just introduced us. And Nikki's first response was, I like the title, and I think it's a book, and you shouldn't go to Penguin, and I'm like, I'm not a writer, and I'm definitely not going to do a book, so my intention was never to do a book. I think the book was just a blessing.
And how do you go from not being a writer to just becoming a writer?
Well, I still don't see myself as a writer. But what happened is that, obviously, I wanted to share the conversations I have in therapy with people on paper. I mean, I remember the day that I got the 2 contracts for English and Afrikaans in the post. I mean, I was kind of speechless for 3 days because I suddenly realized what I'm busy with, actually. So, and then it was 2 years of hard work, really, and a lot of writing, very rewarding and very meaningful. I mean, I mean, if everybody in this room would take what they do and that they think is maybe important or valuable, and not in an egotistical way, but in a meaningful way, and write it up and share it, that was kind of my main intention, really.
And can you tell us about the title, how that came about?
I wrote in the beginning of the book, in the introduction, I said that sometimes it's in moments of complete sobriety and awareness, I have moments of complete clarity about relationships. These truths about relationships would come to me, and they would often come to me, interesting enough, just before I fall asleep, most disruptive. Just when my mind would relax, I would suddenly think, wow, what I saw today was so true and so important, and so that was the one part. And I think that the book, the title's also inviting people to speak the truth in their relationships and build their relationships on honesty, on their own truths, and not on pretending or lying, which is, a much better relationship, but a much more difficult relationship sometimes. So that's also what the title's about.
Yeah, it's like I feel the book's very clear and honest, and you can really feel that. Can you tell us about the illustrations? I know you love illustrating and drawing and all these things. Can you tell us how that's came into the book?
I come from a family of artists. I definitely think that drawings is naive and a bit childlike. I like illustrations, so most of the illustrations are from photographs I've taken, and some of them are from my imagination. And it's by family and friends. That's our little Jack Russell, AJ, that's on the cover, walking on the West Coast beach. So the publishers were very nice about it and allowing the illustrations to go into the book. So they're personal. The person swimming in the sea is my dad. So yeah, they just give the book a bit more of a personal touch. Yeah.
I was thinking about it last night, and do you have a favorite chapter?
Yeah. It's an interesting question. It was a 2-year roller coaster ride of a lot of writing. I really enjoyed the chapter on dating and the meeting of new people. I really, because it was also a chapter not for people in intimate relationships, of people wanting to be in relationships. I wrote a big part of that chapter in Paris. Tiara was just here, the proofreader, and she write stuff like cliche, waffle, waffle, waffle. And I think it was because I was embarrassed and I was exposed to like, I mean, I was going crazy actually. I was feeling all romantic.
Good pleasure.
But it's even if you're not dating, I think it's a really nice a chapter about human behavior. And then one that I'm proud of, that it was very difficult for me to write, was the chapter on loving yourself. But I don't like self-help books. I find them personally quite vague, and most relationship books I've read, it's like, okay, so I'm always waiting for something to happen that doesn't happen, and it feels a bit, I'm always curious, well, how do you do this? It sounds interesting, but I mean, so the book about loving yourself is something that I've discussed with people in any relationship, probably the most important relationship, and your relationship with yourself. And I thought I knew what that meant, Gary, and I didn't have a clue, to be honest with you, till I wrote that chapter. So for me, it was great to really think about what it really truly means to have a relationship with yourself and to love yourself. And I think that chapter was also very, very nice. And, yeah.
I think you answered this already, but
Yeah,
anything else you want to say about who you wrote the book for?
You know, I wrote the book for the people that's in relationships, and I wrote it for people that's single. That was also a very important part for me. And for people in any relationship, family, friends, it's really just, you know, observations and lessons about any relationship.
And now that you've been on TV and you're famous and all, and your book's selling all over the place.
It's not famous, it's called marketing.
They're really good because you're busy every day with interviews and stuff. So what happens next?
Sure, that's a good question, Gary. You know, my mind's busy, you know, it keeps you up at night. I'm scared to say these things because I'm going to take a break. I would love to make a movie about happiness. It's something that I've been thinking about. Where's Lindy Summary? She's the editor, and she's they're talking about books, and I'm like I'm saying no, but then I'm already thinking about writing again. So you know, it's like a bit of it's like that getting tattoos, you know. It's a bit of an addiction and a pain. And I would love to paint and garden and just relax. Actually, that's my intention now.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, get back to the important stuff. Thank you to Media24 and Indie Publishers, and also obviously to the book launch. There's a whole team of people like Helene that's standing there, and I started with Anneke, and I worked with Lindy Summary, and there's Nikki, and I mean and Pietro, and it's an amazing team of people to work with, of people, experienced people that's, you know, overachievers, high achievers. It's a real privilege actually, and that's a compliment. You know, it's been a massive learning curve. Everything is new for me. And they've been so sensitive about everything. I remember Lindy would call me in when they've edited like 40 pages out of the book, and she would sit me down in the boardroom and would go, Stefan, don't be sensitive about this, don't take this personally. And I'm like, I don't think I'm that sensitive, but thank you, I really appreciate the fact that they were that gentle with me. So it's just lovely and beautiful. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with everybody. It's still amazing. Yeah.